everybody. This is an episode of Spiritual Faith Sunday, and this is a video series that I also do for my other channel, which is with my full name. But this video is also suitable for in the carnivore community because it's about how our belief, our faiths fits in our daily life. There are two things that God wants me to talk about, that Jesus wants me to talk about, and that is something that came through vision, like telepathic messages. So I am somebody that is psychic. I am very intuitive. I get visions, I get messages from the divine. And today Jesus constantly showing me two images. And he also explained to me what it's about and what it means for the collective. It's two topics that are symbolic, but it can interweave with each other. So the first image that he has shown me was a scale. He has shown me a scale, uh, a classic scale, with two sides that go up and down when you put something on it. And he chosen that symbol to show to me how to have connections that are equal in balance, that are like the law of reciprocity, equal give and take. And that is one part why he chosen to show me that symbol. So take, for example, your partner or your spouse or your siblings or your family members or the people that you work with on the job, in your career, your clients, your colleagues, your network. This can be any person, but you are one side of the scale and they are the other side of the scale. And he told me, you have to weigh each person separately, which he refers to testing the spirit of somebody. So you are each one side of the scale. You are one, say that you are the right side of the scale, and the other person in your life is the left side of the scale. But then you have the scale itself. And the scale self, that is God, Jesus Himself. He is the scale. He is the one that who is the guide, the one watching over us. So he is a scale, and we are connected to the scale. And this is also the way that he decides who gets karmic justice. Who is, so karmic justice as, are people fair to you? Are you fair to people? Do you treat people right? Do other people treat you right? Do you put in more effort than the other person, or do other people put more effort in than you do? So these are the kind of questions that you have to ask yourself about a connection. And then showed me an exercise, like if you like creative journaling, if you are into creative journaling, you take a layout of 2 pages. So a layout of 2 pages, and you draw a scale on it with 2 weights, right? With 2 plates on it. So this is in the middle. The middle of the pages is in the scale, right? The base on the underside, the base, and then the weight where the top where the 2 plates hang on. But you have to make the layout double so that you can put words on that scale. That you can put little notes on that plate. And every time somebody puts effort in, say that this person in your life puts effort in the connection, you write on a piece of paper what they have done for you. And then you put that on the scale. Then you put that on the scale, and you on the paper that the scale moves up and down from, that you can shove it up or down on your paper. That's why you have to use several papers so that you can move that scale on your page up and down physically. Like those 3D cards. Uh, you put it on that scale and you move it down, and then also numbers of measurements, so that you can see, oh, now it's my turn to give back. So if that person does something for you, then you have to do something for that person. The scale must always be in balance. If the scale is not balanced, it's someone's turn to put in efforts. That is what he showed me, that the scale must always be in balance. So that doesn't always have to be that you do something like to do with money or a gift, or it can also be a conversation, that can also be a hug, that can also be kindness, asking if you need to help someone. So it's not always he's not talking about giving material things. He's talking about things that are of real value. But you have to make sure that if people put in efforts in a connection, that it's positive and not toxic. He's not talking about toxic behavior. He's talking about positive behavior. So let's say that somebody is cheating, that is not putting effort in the connection. Then you give that person a negative point. So he also wants us to work with a point system. So, like, say you have a boyfriend and it's Valentine's Day and he gives you flowers. Okay, he gave you flowers, so that's positive. Then you bring that scale down. He gave me flowers on that day. These were the flowers. That's positive. That's thinking of you. That's thoughtful. that is doing something nice. And then you can think of something to do back, like a thank you, saying thank you and appreciating the gift. That is also doing something back. That doesn't mean because he gave you a gift that you need to buy him a gift. Your gift to your person is being grateful, appreciation for what they do. That is also doing something. But let's say your side of the scale is you're the only person doing effort, right? You are the only person putting effort in. Your plate of the scale is all the way to the bottom, and their plate of the scale is all up here. That's not equal give and take. So if your plate of the scale goes too much down, that means you are the one putting more effort in. And then you need to ask yourself why you're doing that. Because that person could be taking advantage of you. And that doesn't always have to be in a romantic relationship or in a marriage. That can also be in friendship. That can also happen in friendships. That can happen with colleagues at work. That can happen with neighbors. That can happen with anybody. But he clearly told me the scale must always be in balance. They always have to be at the same level. Now, about that point system, when they do something positive, you write that on the positive list. When they do something negative, you write it on the negative list. And that is an if they do too much negative, that could mean that you need to take a step back from someone and discern on it, because it's not always because someone is in a bad mood that they are a bad person. Like, always ask the person what's going on. Like, give them the benefit of the doubt first. Like, everybody has their bad days. Not everybody is perfect. Um, a moment, because I think that the cat needs to go outside. Ilata, kom så ut där. Kom, Hammar. Hammar? Nu är du livexteka. Ali, vad säger du? Ali, han bör. He wanted to go outside. I bought a monster lime lemon without sugar. It's zero sugar. This is something later that I'm gonna show you. So yeah, so those are the kind of stuff that you can think about, because he told me that he would like to have that people think more about the connections in their life, that people need more connections that are godly, more pure, more harmonious, of real value. And then he showed me another image, and that is of sitting at the table. And this came up because of Thanksgiving. How many minutes am I already in? Okay. He showed me the image of sitting at a table. He showed me a table with so many chairs around it, at least 15 to 20 seats. I didn't really count them in the image that he showed me, but it should be about 15 to 20 people. And he explained it to me with sitting at his table, right? Sitting at Jesus, his table. But also, he showed me and explained to me, I have my table, you have your table, and other people have their table. So each person of the collective has their own table that you sit on. And the people that are in your life, they are the other people that are sitting on the table. But sometimes we don't want to sit at our own table, we want to sit on someone else's table, which he compares with looking outside of you. And what is he told me is that when you focus on you and your life, and you focus on your table, and he is also sitting at your table. Jesus, God, is also sitting at your table. So he is sitting on everyone's table. He is sitting on my table. He is sitting on your table. He is sitting on other people their table. He is there for everybody. Which why they say like God sees everything. God sees everything, he hears everything, he knows everything. That's where that comes from. But now it comes. Now what I'm gonna say is really important that you pay attention to. So keep in mind what I said about the scale. Now I'm going to explain what sitting at a table is about. So he sits at the head of the table. You can either sit next to him or beside him. So if you like, the table is a rectangle. The other seats that are empty are for the people in your life. They sit at your table too, but they also have their own table where the people in their life sit on. It's a bit of yeah, you have to follow along because else you're not going to understand it, but keep that in mind. You have your own table where Jesus sits and the people in your life, but those other people have the same thing. So it's gonna get complicated at some point that I explain, but I try to explain it as simple as possible that anybody can understand it. And like he said, sometimes we do not want to sit at our table. Sometimes we leave our own table to go and sit at someone else's table. And this is a really powerful message. When we leave our own table and we want to sit at someone else's table, that means you're looking outside of yourself for something that you hope will fulfill you and your life. But you forget that you have your own table and that Jesus is the most important person on your table because he is the head of the table. He is the leader of the table. You are not the leader. He is the leader of the table. He's the leader, the guide, the head of your life. He gave me examples of when people leave their own table to go and sit on someone else's table. Because you don't need to leave your own table to attract people into your life. And he explained that also to me. So, when do people leave their own table? For example, you want to be somebody's friend, but you don't really know that person. And you try to impress that person. That is leaving your table. uh, you have a crush on someone, but that person is not part of your life yet. So you start to chase that person. That is leaving your own table. Uh, you try to impress your boss. You work really hard, you work overtime. You want him to find you a really good employer. You're kissing ass at your colleagues because you want to be the manager of the month or of the year. That is leaving your own table. So, what is leaving your own table? Anything that that takes you away from focusing on yourself. That can be an object, that can be a habit, that can be a person, that can be anything. It's not just people, it's also habits, it's mindsets, it's beliefs, emotions. All that kind of stuff can make you leave your own table. And he said to me, you don't need to leave your own table. Every person can stay and sit at their own table. Because the people that come and sit around your table, they are spiritually there. They're not physically on your table, they are spiritually on your table. And you are spiritually on their table, like I am spiritually on your table, he said. So Jesus is spiritual, sitting on your table, and other people are sitting spiritually on your table. That's why they're able to have their own table. Okay, you guys still follow? I hope you do. When does that person appear on your table? When they are a part of your life, or you manifested them in your life. So there are two ways that a person can sit spiritually on your table. You either they are a part of your life or you manifested them. From the moment you go after people, chase people, you're no longer on your table. You left your table. So, like, say for the best way that you can imagine this is with meditation. If you meditate and you focus on your table, you imagine a rectangle table. You imagine a rectangle table. What does that table look like? That's the next thing that he explained to me. What does that rectangle table look like? It can be of any material. It can be a complete bare table. It can be a rectangle table with a beautiful white cloth on it. What does it look like? Because he also gave a creative journaling exercise for that. That if you're in bullet journaling and creative Bible journaling, bullet journaling, you also then make a spread of 2 pages that is also in 3D. This spread is also in 3D, just like at scale that he explains. What is on that table? Are there flowers on the table? Is there food on the table? Is there, dressing on the table, like plates, glasses? What is the color of the tablecloth? What does it look like? What do the chairs look like? Are they made of wood? Are they made of plastic that you can see through it? You know those ghost chairs. Is it with a cloth? What does a surrounding look like? Are you outside? Are you inside? And what he's shown me to do is for my spread of my table is the 4 seasons. And this is what he told me what the 4 seasons mean for my table is that the people that will sit on my table, it's important that they support me through the seasons of life. Now you can say the seasons mean for me the seasons of the year, but he's talking about the seasons of life. We all go through seasons in our life. Uh, you know, are people really, is every person that sits on your table a real support in life? Do they have your back through every season in your life? So what I'm going to do for my spread is I'm going to draw a rectangle table with chairs around it, and then I divide the spread in 4 corners, and in each corner I do a background of each season. And then he told me what I should do for my spread is you guys can do that. Okay, so I was saying, do a meditation and try to think of your table, your spiritual table. And you imagine that Jesus is sitting at the head of the table, of your table. And you look at what does a surrounding look like? What does your table look like? What is Jesus wearing? What does he look like? What do you look like? What do the chairs look like? What do the table look like? Is the table dressed or not? What and if the table is dressed, how is the table dressed? These are all details that he will reveal to you that have a symbolic meaning, because every object has a spiritual meaning, every color has a spiritual meaning. And who are the people that are sitting on your table spiritually? So you know who the people are in your life. But when you meditate on your table, it can be that you see other people sitting on your table. That can be somebody from a past life. That can be somebody that you knew in the past. So that would still be an attachment. That can be an ancestor. That can be a past loved one. So anybody can be sitting on your table. And for all we know, it could be an alien sitting on your table. I don't know if you guys believe in that, in extraterrestrial life, but I do. We all have a star family. We don't just have earthly ancestors. We also have uh, cosmic ancestors. We also have cosmic ancestors. Uh, they could be sitting at your table. There could be sitting an angel on your table. Archangel Michael could be sitting on your table. Mary Magdalene may be sitting on your table. An apostle could be sitting on your table. Sorry, my voice. Your guides could be sitting on your table. A spirit animal that is a guide for you could be sitting on your table. Maybe you see a certain animal at your table, but you don't consider them as a guest, but they are. For example, a bird. You see a bird sitting on your table, you just think that it's part of the environment, but it's not. It's a spirit guide. Say, for example, you see a raven. Well, a raven has a symbolic meaning. So anything that you see in your meditation has a spiritual meaning on your table. And keep a notebook next to you and write down as much as you remember, as much as you see, and take your time for it and be really precise with the description of it. Write it down in as much details as you can remember. And this is an exercise that you can do many times. Every time you go in meditation, you think, I want to visit my table with Jesus sitting at my table, at the head of the table. I want to visit my table. I want to see my spiritual table, who is all there. And Jesus is always going to sit there. He does not leave that table. He does not leave your life. He will always be waiting for you there. He's always there present. And then you discern after your meditation, you write down as much as you remember. Every detail, every color, every person, everything. You also take a good look at how the table is dressed. The materials, the colors, the textures, the objects, whatever, write it all down because it all has a meaning. That's how he will reveal to you what is going on in your life. That is a revelation for your life. What is on that table and who's sitting around that table. That's how he brings you the revelation for your life. And it can happen that there's gonna be sitting someone on your table and they're being difficult. That means that he wants you to pay attention to that person in your life. Is there somebody sitting on your table that you have a bad feeling about, that you don't really trust, that you're wondering, what the heck are you doing on my table? Why are you there? You don't belong there. You don't sit on my table. But that is either that person is part of your life, or that person is a soul tie, or that person is still an attachment to you. So then he shows you that to pay attention to that and do something about it. Now I'm going to explain. So that's one thing. That's already the second thing or the third thing that I explained. Now, I explained what happened when you leave your own table. I explained that. I have explained the meaning of it, everything that you see. I have explained the revelation of your life, what he wants you to pay attention to and do something about. And now we're going to talk about how you manifest the right things on your table. So say for example you think of your table in your mind, and your mind is showing you there's nothing on the table, it's completely bare, and all the chairs are empty except for you and Jesus on the table. That can mean you need to reevaluate your life. That is what he told me. If you see an empty table, you see empty chairs, or you see both, that means it's time for a new beginning. It's time for a complete change in your life. You need to reevaluate everything in your life. You need to reinvent yourself. That is what that could mean. When you see nothing at all, you see no people, you see no spirit guides, you see no animals, literally nothing. That is what that means. That you need to rethink about everything in your life, because he's telling you, I cannot show you anything because you need to reinvent yourself. You need to reevaluate the areas of your life. You need to reevaluate your connections. That is, if it's empty, that's what it means. It's like he's giving you a complete new slate, right? Because when there's nothing on the table, you cannot sit on an empty table. You're gonna need something on your table. You're gonna need something to decorate it, or you can always choose to talk to Jesus. I mean, you don't really have to do something. You can always talk to him, have a conversation with him that is also doing something that will also manifest something. Now we're going to go into how to manifest things. And that is, you don't have to go to other people their table. The only thing to manifest something on your table, no. You stay on your table and you focus on yourself. You focus on what you need to do in your life. And when you focus on him, you focus on God, you focus on Jesus and yourself. And when you do this, things will start to manifest on your table. Every time you want to meditate on it, every time you think about it, in your mind, you're going to start to see things. And you have to write that down. You have to write it all down. That's another exercise that Jesus, God, asks us to do. This is for the year 2024. And it's something biblical that he wants us to do. And it's going to give you a lot of insight in what direction your life is going. That is what he told me. He also showed me then how I should do my spread, right, with the table in a bullet journal. He showed me, so I have to do a rectangle table with a white cloth, a white tablecloth, and on the side it has a bit of lace fabric, and the chairs are in wood, in oak wood, and I am sitting here and he is sitting there on the head of the table. And all the other chairs, for the moment I don't see anybody sitting on my table. So that means for me, I have to reevaluate my network. And then I'm going to get into another thing really important. And I'm going to do videos on that, what that is about. But let me first tell you how he wants me to do my creative bullet journaling on my table. So he wants me to do the 4 seasons around it as a background. And then he told me to look on Amazon for decorative stickers. And I can put on it whatever that I like on this table. Like candles, flowers, pottery, whatever I want to put. I may decorate the table how I want to. And then this was really interesting that he showed me that he wants me to make name cards. He wants me to put name cards on my table spreads. So like little frames that you can write something in. He wants me to do that on each chair, but he also wants me to do that on the table itself. Here's what he wanted me to put on the table as a name cards. Not the name of the person, no. He told me the fruits of the Spirit. Those are the name cards that he wants me to put on my table spread in my bullet journal. The fruits of the Spirit. Each fruit of the Spirit that is on a name card on the table spreads in my bullet journal that he wants me to do. These are values. What values do I want in my life? That's what he's talking about. What are the values that he wants me to have in my life? Not just for now, but also for the future and the rest of my life till the day that I'm no longer here. Those are the name cards that he wants me to put on the table spread in my bullet journal. Then this is what I'm gonna make other videos also about for Spiritual Faith Sunday series is the name tags on the chairs around the table. And he doesn't want me to put names on it from people that I have in my life. No. He wants me to manifest a table. And I'm gonna talk about something because you can have more than one table. This table of mine, the name tags on the chairs are the people that belong in my sacred team. Having a sacred team. That is about who are the people that truly support you. Who are the people that encourage you? Who are the people that celebrate you? Those are the people that I have to manifest on my table. So, how do I manifest that? By focusing on me, on my life, and doing what I have to do for my life. I cannot leave my table. I'm not allowed to leave my table of him. I have to stay put to my table. I may not leave the table. Because he's going to give me a warning when I do. When he said, oh no, sit down, sit down. Like when I sometimes think of my ex, he's like, sit down, Nadine, sit down, sit. Do you hear me? Sit down. Don't leave your table. Sit. So he's like really telling me like, watch out. You're about to leave your table and you're not. You're gonna sit down. I tell you to sit down. So He says if you want to manifest certain things in your life, you cannot leave your table. So that is what he wants me to do with this first table spread. Because he told me you can have a table for your career. You can have a table for your love life. You can have a table for yourself. Okay, so there are a few different tables that you can have in life. One for career, one for your love life, and one for yourself, and one of family, one of connection. So you can have different tables. Keep that in mind. You can have different tables for the most important life areas. And each table is the same principles. Okay? Each table is the same principles. That and you do the way that you see it, and then you discern on it what you think Jesus wants to tell you, what you think God is trying to tell you of message. Use it, but definitely use your discernment. Write it in most detail possible. Try to remember as much as you can. If he is giving you an image, oh, I saw a blue napkin on my table. Okay, I write that down. Blue napkins. Blue is a color of communication. And what do we use a napkin for? We use a napkin on our mouth, right? To wipe our mouths. So to keep our lips clean. So, okay, what does that mean spiritually? Keeping your mouth clean, keeping your lips clean. Maybe you have done or said something that is maybe not so nice. Maybe you need to work on your communication. Or if you don't need to work on your communication, maybe there is something that you're not saying that people should know. Maybe you're, you know, keeping too much stuff to yourself, and maybe you need to communicate more with other people. So that's the way that things can mean that you see, because everything has spiritual energy. Everything has spiritual symbolism. That is a message for you. Um, but you make the scale in 3D the way that I explained it. And you also make the table spread in 3D. You can do a table spread each month or every season. I'm gonna make one every season. So I'm gonna do a main table spread for the four with the 4 seasons on it as a beginning of a journal. And then I'm gonna do each season the same table, but now we're winter, so I'm gonna do a table during winter as a spread. And then when it's spring, I'm gonna do a table that you see that it's spring. I'm gonna buy a separate bullet journal for this so that I can do monthly layouts and weekly spreads and daily spreads where I journal and stuff. This is gonna be a new bullet journal spread for me. I'm also gonna include the scale. I will do also the scale spreads. And when that's finished, I will show you guys how I made that. Because I don't know how I'm gonna achieve doing this, but I might look on YouTube if anybody ever did a spread with a 3D scale in a bullet journal, how I need to create that, how I can do a table spread in 3D in a bullet journal. You never know that somebody already did that idea. So that's what I'm going to look up. And then I'll let you guys know if I do find a person who has already done a spread like that in a bullet journal. I will add that video link in the description of this video so that you guys can also take a look at it, how that person done that in 3D. So on a page in a bullet journal. I hope you guys found it really interesting. That was Jesus, his message that he wanted me to share with the collective. This video is gonna come on my first channel with my full name under the playlist Spiritual Faith Sunday. And I'm also gonna upload this video on my Carnivore channel, Carnivore with Nadine. And I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye. And I'm glad you guys enjoy my videos. It really makes me happy that you guys enjoy their contents. Bye. Have a good weekend.